All right, my secondary math 1 class. We are finishing up our unit on area today. So we are going to be reviewing everything we've learned and talked about area so far. Alrighty, so for numbers 1 through 4, it's just asking us to find the area of each. So let's look at number 1. Okay, well, number 1 we can see is a 4-sided shape with all right angles. So we know that this is a rectangle. So let's go ahead and write our area formula for a rectangle. Okay, so our area formula for a rectangle is just length times width. Okay, so let's go and identify our length and our width. Okay, well, I'm going to say that my 6 centimeters is my length and my 8.3 is my width. Excuse me. Okay, now that I know my length and my width, I'm going to plug them into my formula, which is area equals length, 6 centimeters, times my width, 8.3 centimeters. Beautiful. Now that we have that all plugged in, we can go ahead and type it into our calculator. So I have 6 times 8.3, and that gives me 49.8. So we multiplied 6 times 8.3, and we got that our area equals 49.8. Okay, what are my units of measurement though? I have centimeters times centimeters, so centimeters squared. And there's our area, 49.8 centimeters squared. All right, number 2. What shape are we dealing with in number 2? A 3-sided shape is a what? It's a triangle. So let's go ahead and write down our area formula for a triangle. This is equal to 1/2 times base times our height. Okay, so let's go ahead and identify what we need. We need a base and our height. Okay, well, what is my base, my bottom of my triangle? Okay, well, look if I turned it like that. Okay, then we'd see that 4.8 is the bottom of the triangle. So we can label 4.8 as the base. And that would mean that it is 3.3 miles high. So 3.3 is our height. Beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and plug this into our formula. So we have area equals 1/2 times my base, 4.8 miles, times my height, 3.3 miles. Whoops, can't see it. There we go. Okay, so now I need to punch in 1/2 times 4.8 times 3.3. Okay, 1/2 in our calculator is 0.5 times 4.8 times 3.3. And we get 7.92. So our area of this triangle is 7.92. What are my units? I have miles times miles, so miles squared. That is a big triangle. And there we go. Okay, let's look at number 3. Okay, what shape are we dealing with in number 3? So I have a 4-sided shape where 2 sides are parallel to each other, right? They're never going to cross, but one side is shorter than the other. So this is what we call a trapezoid. Okay, so let's go ahead and remind ourselves the area of a trapezoid formula. Area of a trapezoid equals parentheses A plus B, or we're going to add our short side and our long side. Then we have to divide it by 2 and multiply it by the height. Okay, well, let's go ahead and identify what we need. So I need my A, which is my shorter side, my B, and my height. Okay, so A is my shorter side. So I see that 2.3 is shorter than 6.9, so I'm going to label 2.3 as my A. That means my longer side is 6.9, so 6.9 is my B. And lastly, I need my height, so how tall it is, that is 2.3. Okay, now we can go ahead and plug it into our formula. So we have area equals parentheses A, and I'm going to leave off the units just to leave myself a little space, 2.3 miles plus B, 6.9 miles. We have to divide that number by 2, whatever we get, and multiply it by our height, which is 2.3 miles. Okay, now we have to use our order of operations. Remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, so please, parentheses, always comes first. So we have our parentheses, 2.3 plus 6.9. So let's do that. 2.3 plus 6.9. That's going to give me 9.2. Okay, so this piece in the parentheses turned into 9.2. We still have to divide it by 2 and multiply it by 2.3. Okay, so let's take 9.2 and divide it by 2 first. So 9.2 divided by 2. And we get, do a different color. So we turned this piece, 9.2 divided by 2, to 4.6. Lastly, we need to multiply that by 2.3. So take 4.6 times 2.3. And finally, we get our area, which is 10.58. Now, what are my units? Okay, we're finding area, so we know it has to be squared. Well, we can see that they're miles, so miles squared. And there we go. Okay, number 4. What shape are we dealing with in number 4? So we have 4 sides, like a slanty rectangle, and none of these sides that are parallel are ever going to cross, right? That means parallel. Okay, well, we know that a slanty rectangle and they're all parallel is a parallelogram. So we have A of a parallelogram equals base times height, which technically a rectangle is a parallelogram, right? So length times width is actually the same as base times height. Okay, it just looks a little different. So what is my base and what is my height for number 4? Well, my base is going to be 6.7, which means my height is 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug that into our formula. Area equals my base, 6.7 feet, times my height, 5 feet. Okay, and easy peasy, we're just gonna plug this into our calculator. So we get 6.7 times 5. And that gives me 33.5. Okay, we know that my units are feet times feet, so feet squared. And there we go. So numbers 1 through 4, we were simply finding the area of those shapes. Numbers 5 and 6, it's asking us to find the missing measurement. Okay, so notice on number 5 that it already gives us our area. So this way we're working backwards. Okay, on numbers 1 through 4, we were finding the area. We had our base, our height, all that good stuff. Now we have our area and we're missing either a base, a height, a length, a width, something like that. Okay, so first of all, what shape are we dealing with in number 5? We're dealing with a triangle. Okay, so let's look at our triangle formula. We need our base and our height. Okay, well, we know our area. It's 42.2. So I'm going to write 42.2. Again, I'm going to leave the units off just for space purposes. So we know that the area of a triangle is 1/2 times my base. So do I have my base of this triangle? Yes, I do. Gives me 9.6 as my base. Do I have my height? No, that's our question mark. So that's what we're solving for. So we're just going to leave that as H for height. Okay, so when we're solving for height, we need to look at the same side as our H, right? We can combine these two terms, right? We can multiply 1/2 times 9.6. So let's do that. So 1/2, 0.5 times 9.6 equals 4.8. Okay, so we haven't done anything with 42.2 yet, still 42.2. But 1/2 times 9.6 turned into 4.8, and we multiply it by the height. Okay, well now we look at our same side as our H. We're multiplying by 4.8, so what is the opposite of multiply by 4.8? We're going to divide by 4.8. Okay, so our h is going to be all by itself over here. Just need to punch this into our calculator, so let's take 42.2 divided by 4.8, and we get a really ugly decimal. I'm just going to round it to 2 decimals, so look at behind the 9. It's a 1, so that 9 is going to stay the same. So I'm just going to round that as 8.79. Okay, notice I left a little space because what are my units of measurement? It's just meters. Remember, if it were the area, it would be meters squared, but we already found the area. We were just trying to find the height, so it's just 1 meters. And there we go. We found our missing measurement, which was our height for this triangle. Okay, let's look at number 6. So what shape are we dealing with in number 6? We're dealing with a trapezoid, so let's look at our trapezoid formula. We need A, B, and our height. Okay, we know our area. Remember, it already gave us our area, so let's write that first. 31.8 equals parentheses A plus B. So let's see if we have that. Do we have our A, our shorter side? Nope, that's our question mark, so we're going to leave that as A. Plus our B, do we have our longer side? Yep, 9.5, close parentheses. We're going to have to divide that by 2 and then multiply by the height. Do we have our height? Yes, we do. It's 5.3. Okay, so it looks like we're trying to solve for A. We're trying to find that missing measurement right there. Okay, so let's look at our same side as our A. The first thing we need to get rid of is what's farthest away. Okay, well, we know parentheses are close, and then divided by 2 is close. So we see that times by 5.3 is the farthest away. So what is the opposite of times by 5.3? We're going to divide by 5.3. Okay, so let's punch this into our calculator. We have 31.8 divided by 5.3, and we get a nice pretty 6 on that side. So 6 equals parentheses A plus 9.5, haven't done anything with that, divided by 2. So we got rid of that 5.3, so this is all we're left with. Okay, so now what is the farthest away? Again, parentheses are the closest, so now what's the farthest away? Divide by 2. So what is the opposite of divide by 2? We're going to multiply by 2. Okay, so I get 2 times 6 is 12, equals, now that I just have what's in the parentheses, we don't need the parentheses anymore. A plus 9.5. Beautiful. Okay, one more step to get A by itself. The only thing left to get rid of is this plus 9.5. What is the opposite of plus 9.5? We're going to subtract 9.5. Okay, so we get A is all by itself over here. And what is 12 minus 9.5? You can do that in your calculator. We get 2.5. Okay, I left myself a little space because what are the units of measurement? What is the unit I'm going to put on here? It's not miles squared because that goes with our area. This is not our area, it's our A, so it's just miles. And there we go. Perfect. Okay, now for numbers 7 and 8, it's asking us to solve the word problems. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to read these word problems and draw a picture using them. Okay, so Mary knows that the area of her bedroom, I'm going to underline information that I think is important. The area of her bedroom is 72 square feet. She measures the length of one side. Okay, so we know that the length is 9 feet. What is the width? So we're trying to find the width. Okay, well, what shape can we assume that this bedroom is? We can pretty much assume it's some type of rectangle, right? So I'm going to draw a rectangle. Okay, well, we know that the area of this rectangle, right, it gave us our area, equals 72 square feet or feet squared. Okay, and it also gave us our length. Okay, so our length I'm going to put right here as 9 feet. And then it's asking us to find the width, so we don't know our width. Okay, so number 7 is just like numbers 5 and 6, where we have to go backwards. So we have our area, we have 72. Okay, so it gives us 72. So we're going to do 72 equals our length times our width for a rectangle, right? So length is 9 times W for our width. Okay, well now we're solving for W, so we need to get rid of what's on the same side of it. What's on the same side is times by 9. What is the opposite of times by 9? We're going to divide by 9. So we have our width over here. What is 72 divided by 9? We can use a calculator. And we get 8. I'm leaving a little space because 8 what? What is our width of this bedroom? What are the units of measurement? 8 feet. And there we go. Okay, let's look at number 8. Again, I'm going to underline the information that I think is going to be important. Luke wants to find the area of a triangle drawn in the parking lot. Okay, so we know it's a triangle. He measures the base as 6 feet and the height as 8 feet. What is the area? Okay, so let's go ahead and draw this triangle. So we have our triangle right here. We see that our base is 6 feet, so bottom of our triangle. And our height, remember, straight up and down, is 8 feet. Okay, remember our formula for a triangle? 1/2 times base times height. So let's plug that in. Okay, so this time we're trying to find the area. What is the area? So we have area equals 1/2 times my base, which is 6, times my height, which is 8. Okay, well we can go ahead and just plug this into a calculator. So I got 1/2, 0.5 times 6 times 8 equals 24. Okay, what are my units of measurement? We get feet squared. Remember, it is squared because we were finding the area. Oops. And there we go. Okay, one last example I want us to do. So let's turn our notes over. Okay, so I want us to draw a little L-shaped because this is the last thing that's going to be on our test. Ooh, and hopefully yours is prettier than mine, but that's okay. Okay, so we have our little L-shaped. So what is the area? So we're gonna say find the area of this shape. Okay, so we know this side, I'm gonna say is 10. This little side is 5. Well, feet, sure. Just forgot to put feet. Okay, and then let's say that this side is, let's go 8 feet, and this guy will be 4 feet. Okay, so we're trying to find the area of this weird shape, right? So what we're gonna actually have to do is split it into 2 rectangles to find the area. Okay, so let's say I'm trying to find the area of the green portion and the area of the purple portion. Okay, so let's find the area of the green one. Actually, no, purple. Let's look at the purple. Because look, we have both our length and our width for the purple. That makes things easy. Okay, so area of my purple equals length 8 times my width 5. So we know that the area of my purple purple part of the rectangle is 40 feet squared, right? Just the purple part, just that part. Okay, well now we need to find the area of the green one. Okay, do we know the length and the width? No, we actually don't, because this whole side is 10, but then we took away 5 from the purple side. So what is 10 feet minus 5 feet? That means that our length or width, whatever you want to call it, of the green one is 5 feet on this side. But then what's our width? Okay, well, we got to do the same thing. Our whole one is 8 feet, but then we took away 4 feet. What is 8 minus 4? We get 4 feet right there. Okay, so we had to do a little solving. So now let's find the area of the green one. So we have our length, 5 times our width, 4. So the area of our green one is 5 times 4, which is 20 feet squared. Okay, our last step to find the area of the whole thing is to just add the two areas together. So the area of this whole thing is 40 square feet plus 20 square feet, because we're just adding them together. So the area of this whole thing is 40 plus 20 is 60 square feet. And there we go. All right, those are all your notes for today. You have a review assignment that goes with it.